What up, Los Angeles?
Hey, what's up?
Another round is coming through.
LA.
Oh my gosh. We are going to have tons of very, very special guests, including Amber Rose,
What?
Quinta Brunson,
What?
and one of my favorite diners, Victor Pope Jr.
What?
Join us live in person on Tuesday, October 3rd at the theater at the Ace Hotel.
You can get tickets starting August 11th at
kcrw.com/events.
like literally where else you gonna get that lineup?
Come through.
Come on now.
Magazines are more than just something to flip through in the checkout line at the grocery store. They're informative, entertaining, and they give you opinions and ideas from the world's best journalists, writers, and leaders. Now you can get all your favorite magazines in just one app, Texture. Try Texture for free at texture.com/anotherround.
Hi everyone, I'm Heben.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay,
that
I'm
could
not.
get confusing for me.
Okay, that's Heben. I'm Tracy. And this is another round with Heben and Tracy.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh, that was a very triumphant.
I don't know. We're doing stuff.
I like
We
it.
got a
I
trumpet
like
for
it.
some reason.
I found it for sale down the street. So we have a little announcement to make.
Mm-hmm.
We are busy out on the road, on the planes, zipping and zapping.
Tour life, you
Y'all
know.
understand. You know how it is. Y'all know.
You can't take us nowhere.
I know.
But because we are so busy, we're going to play an encore for you right now.
Which encore is it?
While we are on the road, you all will be listening to friend of the show, Anil Dash.
Yay!
So this episode comes to us from January 2016.
2016. Nina, leave this in.
I hate you guys. You say it, damn it.
No, I can't do it either.
All right.
Okay.
So this episode is from January 2016, which definitely does feel a little like the before times. Before y'all's little president.
BT or BYLP before y'all's little president. But you know what? Some things have remained the same. For example, we in this episode have a conversation with Anil about Aziz Ansari's show, Master of None, which has now had a second season.
True. And people are still talking about the racial dating dynamics in there.
It's still a thing.
Yes. A lot to talk about.
Yep. And we also asked Anil if he, at the time, was surprised that Trump had gotten so far in his political career. Unfortunately relevant, you know.
Also, men are still trash. And I feel like Anil's a good person to talk about men with.
Yeah, you know what they say, the only constants in the world are change and men being trash.
Yes.
I read that in Buddhism.
I just think that's so funny.
So yeah, here's the episode. Hope you enjoy it. And we miss y'all already.
I know. Have a mango for us.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heben.
I'm Tracy.
And welcome to another round with Heben and Tracy.
Yay!
The crowd goes crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I can't even believe
You guys are the
What do
best.
I do? What do I do?
What?
do I do? I don't know.
Oh. I was like, why would the crowd be saying that?
Because they were just so excited. They didn't know what to do.
Anyways.
Hi, Heben.
Hi, Trace.
How are you?
I missed your face.
Ta-da, here it is. It's got
Aw.
two cheeks. Look at it.
I'm so excited for today's show.
Same. Why are you excited?
So first of all, we have a What Had Happened Was childhood edition. It's a little story.
Baby Heaven.
Baby heaven.
I'm excited.
And then we're going to talk to OG internet dude Anil Dash. He's a longtime friend of the show, but this is the first time we're having him on. We're so excited.
Yes.
He's also the co-founder of MakerBase, a New York City startup. Always all up in the tech scene, but one of the things I really love that he did recently was he only retweeted women for a year, which God bless.
I mean, that's a great way to instantly improve your social media life.
Instantly.
Smart.
So
Smart
we're
man.
excited to talk to him. All right, Tracy, what had happened was...
Oh my gosh. I love it when you do What Happened Was.
Okay, so this is a story of how I bust my head open.
Oh my God. First of all, I love it when black people say that. When they always talking about somebody's head being busted up.
This
You
really
quit
happened.
running in that damn house, you're going to bust your head open. Then you're going
But
to be sitting there bleeding.
I'm the evidence in this story that your grandma warns you about. I did bust my head open. Okay, so let me set the scene. I'm in 3rd grade.
Oh, little baby Heaven.
And they pulled me aside to go into the teacher's lounge because my mom had been asking about this gifted kids program. I was like, at the time, honestly, I was just like, Mom, I'm not gifted. I just get bored sometimes. So I was just like, I get to go in the teacher's lounge. I want to go. And I went. I was so excited. I was so hyped. You know how when you're a kid and it's like, even if you see like your teacher at like the grocery store, it's like, what are they doing here?
No. They have a life outside the school.
So like the teacher's lounge in my mind was like this mythical place where like things happened for teachers. I don't know what.
Was it the room?
Oh my God, Tracy, we gotta chill. We gotta chill with the Hamilton. I am such an obnoxious kid. I keep rocking back and forth in my chair. I'm distracted. I'm just like, what is this shit? Why am I doing this? She explicitly said, don't rock back on your chair. I was rocking back in my chair and I fell. I hit the cabinet behind me. Ouch. But you know, when kids, they're mad sprightly and shit.
Yeah.
So I just bounced back. I'm like, oh, I'm chill. And she had this look on her face like, oh my God.
Oh no.
I was like, yo, calm down. I'm fine. And I was just like, it's just a little bump on my head. And I touched my head. It's like at the very top of my head.
Oh my God.
And then I put my hand down and there's blood on it. I was like, oh,
did you fall apart?
Maybe I'm not fine. What's happening?
How was your hair like styled?
Oh my God. You know the struggle back in the day when I didn't know about products.
Ponytails and stuff?
At that time, I was doing a lot of braids, box braids.
So there wasn't like any padding between like your head and the cabinet? Ugh.
Yeah. So the teacher's freaking out. I can clearly tell. I was just like, oh, she's done something wrong. Teachers don't really respond like this usually. So she's like, fuck. Because I went to a public school. They're like, go to the nurse's office. That was her solution. So I was like, all right, my head's bleeding, but okay. Y'all don't think we should get a little more? But I realized for a while after I'm sitting there that their whole strategy is just wait till the end of the day.
Oh my God.
Till my parents get there. And my parents gonna come sooner because they're working immigrant people.
Right.
So I was like, wait, I think I'm just gonna sit here for hours. And that's what happened.
Oh my gosh.
In that time, my childhood crush walked by. So you know when you're in the nurse's office, everyone's like, ooh, what happened?
Right.
And you know how every childhood crush has like a crazy name like Chad Padachevsky or some shit, you know, like some random shit. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want y'all to Google him. But it approximates a Padachevsky.
Oh my God.
Whatever I just said a few seconds ago. I think I'm thinking of a playwright, actually. I'm thinking of a famous playwright, TV playwright. So Patty Chayefsky walks by.
Oh my gosh.
He's like this like super blonde white guy. They didn't have many of those in the elementary school that I went to. I was just like so always confused by him. He's like, Heben, what are you doing here? I don't know. Something happened with my head. This whole time, I'm so nonchalant about it. I just felt like so special that he like peeked into the nurse's office. Up on you, girl. And of course the nurse was just like in the corner doing nothing. I was chilling. I wasn't, worried as I should have been. So finally, end of the day happens. My parents come. We go to the hospital. I asked my sister about the story to just, corroborate what I remember. Right. And she's like, yeah, the car ride was so dramatic.
Oh my God.
Because everyone told us you can't let her fall asleep. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh my God.
And she's like, Heben, in that time, I was doing everything I could to keep you entertained. So she's telling me like all these stories and be like, yo, Heben, what's good? So we make it to the hospital. The doctor's like, yeah, she's cut pretty bad. She needs stitches.
Oh my gosh.
My sister's a troll. A troll. And she told me, because it was really like straight up down the like middle of my head, like a split. God. And she was like, I can see your brains leaking out. And I was like, oh my God, no. So crucial context, I had like at that time just finished like ESL classes and they had me with the regular kids. So that's also part of why I was like low-key skeptical of this gifted program. So I was like, listen, I just fought my way through ESOL classes.
Right.
I want to be with the regular kids. And I was like, I was proud of myself for learning English so quickly. And then she's like, your brains are leaking out.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What's about to happen? And then I also called my mom to corroborate this story. And you know what she said?
What did she say?
She said, I don't remember.
Wait, what?
I was like, excuse me.
She doesn't remember the entire incident?
So I was like, yo, I want to make sure I got the facts straight about how our family handled this crisis. Do you remember when I bust my head open as a child?
She was like, no.
She's like, honestly, like, y'all have put us through a lot. I don't remember this one particular moment. And in that moment, honestly, I was like, yo, immigrant parents have seen some shit. She doesn't even remember. Anyways, what had happened was my mom doesn't remember me breaking. Just my whole head breaking.
With recent conversation in popular culture surrounding fake news and alternative facts, it's really important to know where your news is coming from. Texture is a new app that features some of the most trustworthy, credible publications in the world, such as Time Magazine, The New Yorker, Vanity Fair, The Atlantic, and many, many others. Texture gives you access not just to your favorite magazines, but also the latest in investigative journalism, U.S. politics, and domestic and international news. And the app does more than just deliver magazines. Texture makes it easy to mark what you like and find the articles you want to read with daily recommendations, videos, back issues, and more. And there are so many great magazines out there, like my favorites, Teen Vogue, which has really been killing it lately, National Geographic, because I love animals, and my mom's favorite, Reader's Digest, which she's been reading for like 30 years, I'm pretty sure. So why subscribe to just a couple of magazines when you can have all of your favorites on your smartphone or tablet all the time for way less? Normally $9.99 a month, Texture gives you access to over 200 magazines. But if you sign up right now at texture.com/anotherround, you can try Texture for free for 14 days. So go start your 14-day free trial now and download the app at texture.com/anotherround. One more time, that's texture.com/anotherround.
So we are so excited to have Anil Dash in this dude. If you don't know him, he's an OG internet dude, co-founder of MakerBase, a New York City startup, and an activist basically trying to fix the tech industry.
That's me.
Welcome. All the way from D.C.
Oh, don't even treat me like that. It's
knew
been
it was
30
coming.
seconds and now I'm already being abused.
We have a running joke where we just assumed Anil lived in DC.
Because you're
It's
always
not
at
a great
the freaking
joke.
White House.
That's
always.
not always. I literally have been there a handful. So you can actually go
A
on the
handful of
website.
times.
sir.
Okay.
But that's, so have you.
Once.
Well,
That is not a handful.
excuse me.
Anyways.
We were just hanging out with Valerie Jarrett. We just do that.
I mean,
Well, welcome to the show, Anil.
Thank you.
Good to
Thanks.
see you,
Warm
good to see
welcome.
you.
I appreciate it.
I feel like no one really ever knows what you do.
Yeah,
I have
that's
no
kind of
idea
by
what you do.
design.
You just
I
do
know.
a million things in tech.
Yeah.
Can you give people the short and sweet version of all
Short
the things
is
that
hard.
you do?
I just been around a long time, and then I have a startup, MakerBase, and that's like what IMDb is for people that make movies and TV. We are for people that make apps and stuff. And then really, what I realized, it took me a long time to realize it is, I love technology, and I loved being in the tech industry when I did that. And now I sort of said, well, but there's a lot of stuff that's kind of broken and wrong and needs fixing. And I thought, I guess I better do it because nobody else is doing it. And so whether that's being, writing or working in nonprofits or all the different stuff is like whatever it takes to get tech to see what is wrong and what needs to be fixed. That's what I want to be doing.
Word.
so that is the what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you do it?
Oh my goodness. Well, one, it's fun. Like I still geek out over tech. Like I still am like, somebody's like, you got to check out this app, or you got to go to this website. And it's still interesting to me. Like that's shocking to me because I was like the nerdy kid. So we had, a computer when I was I don't know, 5. And that's when I started coding and started playing with computers. And it's still, interesting to me now. I did that for a long time. I mean, I used to
So
be
you're like a
software programmer.
7-year-old coding.
Yeah, but that was a thing. Like, if you were lucky enough in the 80s to have parents who could like put a computer in front of you, you were very kind. There was actually a ton of resources. Like, you could go. We had bookstores back then. You could go and get a magazine, and it would have like
bookstores.
Type this code into your computer, and you would just do it. And then exactly that, the implications of that, which is like the only people that I met in tech were people who were like, my parents had hundreds of dollars of disposable income in 1982 to give somebody a computer.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's us. We are those people that had that level of like privilege, and we built all this stuff for ourselves. And what about everybody else?
What did your parents do?
They both worked for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for 30 years. My dad built highways, and my mom worked in the DMV. And actually, I mean, both their stories are incredible, like all immigrants. But like, my dad came and got his PhD in the 60s and helped work on the foundation for Disney World as a civil engineer. And
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. And like the airport, Hartsfield Airport in Atlanta. And
Wait, does he get like free?
No, he doesn't get anything. He was like a junior engineer, like just out of school. But like, he worked on these things and.
Everyone's trying to get a ticket to Disney.
Yeah,
The
really.
foundation upon which it
It's
stands.
built in the swamp. That's why they're like, we need some good ass engineers. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And then it's like, it's 1964, and he goes to Florida, and he's like, they won't let me go into this barbershop. Like, I don't know what's going on. And he didn't know, so he's like, welcome to America. Here you
Damn.
I know you've seen Master of None.
are. I have.
They have this
I
great
lived
parents episode. Yes, same. Do you feel like you have, like the parents episode was all about,
Oh my gosh.
the
yeah.
stories you learn
It was
about
such
your
a good
parents?
episode.
Yeah. Man, that was pretty crazy what my dad was talking about, working in a zipper factory. I never knew that. You know something about your dad's backstory?
I mean, I know the big points. He was poor, he was in another country, he was tough. Then he came here. I mean, I got the gist of it.
Wasn't that the gist of every immigrant story? That it was hard? Shouldn't you care a little more being that he's your dad?
Yeah, but again, he doesn't talk much. I once found a photo of him in the military, and he just goes, hard time, and then, like, walked into another room.
It's pretty crazy. All of us first-generation kids, we had these amazing lives. It's all because our parents made these crazy sacrifices. And we never thank them. Like, we do nothing to thank them. Shouldn't we do something?
Yeah, like a gift or something? I mean, what would I get my dad for a gift? He doesn't really have any interests. I mean, he likes drinking water, staying hydrated. I could get him a gallon of water as a gift. Is there such a thing as a Water of the Month club?
Hey, what if we took them out to a nice dinner and learned more about their lives and just said thank you?
Have your parents opened
I
up?
mean-
Are they still
my
not
folks
talking?
came to visit, and I literally was like, I'm putting TV on. You're gonna watch this, and they're like, we
Oh,
don't.
you watched it with them?
Yeah, and they were like, we don't want. My dad fell asleep, and because dad.
Accurate.
Yeah, and my mom was a little, because like I actually forgot. There's like the scene where he's at that Think Coffee down on Broadway, and he was like, he's doing a audition, and he's yelling like fuck, and I don't actually curse in front of my mother, and so he's Aziz is like shouting obscenities at the top of his lungs, and my mother's sort of like very like, oh dear, what is this thing you're making us watch? And I was like, no, stick with it, Ma, stick with it. and then they get into the heartrending kill your chicken part, which if you haven't seen the episode, there's a story of his friend who's saying his dad was forced when he was a kid to kill the family chicken because they had to eat it for dinner. And like, it was a goat, but like I know that story, and everybody I know knows that story.
Real.
Yeah, like that is the realest. Like yeah, totally. And so it was so resonant, and I mean just so powerful. Of like, there's an Indian dude on screen. I waited my whole life, that one of us could be the star and have a sex scene, and it's not played for a joke, and put your parents on and treat them with the respect, and they're not played for a joke. Like just that much. I didn't even care about the rest of it. Like it could have been like an 8-minute show and been done on one episode, and I would have been like, "We made it, Ma. We made it."
So what did your mom think?
She's like, "That was nice." They're not like,
Yo, peak immigrant mom answer.
yeah, like Asian mom is not going to give you that much.
So, I mean, watching that episode with your parents, did that spur any story sharing between you and them?
No, because that's sort of what I do with them every time. I'm like, tell me about the old country. Tell me about being an immigrant. And like, I create these narratives where I'm like this very dramatic, well, against the backdrop of immigration reform in the 60s, this is how they got off a plane and made a life for themselves. And they're like, we went to work, we paid our bills, like we put you in diapers. Like there's no, there isn't, well, because immigrants just do it. Like I'm the first generation that had enough time to sit there and be like, well, what if I told a story?
Storytelling
I
is
tried
a
to do it with
luxury.
my parents over Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything out of them.
Nothing, right? And they're just like, we
They're
just
like-
got here and then we got to work.
Like, for example, my dad was also an engineer, and I was like, I know you went to Europe for college for his master's, because at that time they had interesting programs for that. I was like, what was that like, living in a completely different continent? And he's like, I had a weird roommate.
Yeah, no, I said to my dad, I was like,
Still salty about it.
That is such a you.
I was like, you went and you studied and then you were working in Seattle and did anything cool happen? He's like, well, I saw Hendrix once. I was like, what? You what?
Yeah, and then they'll casually drop something like that.
Yeah. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we saw Jimi Hendrix. I was like, what'd you think? He's like, it was good. I was like, what? What is it?
Not bad, NBD.
Yeah. And then on to the next. Like, I was like, what kind of life? And it's like this larger than life. Because, like, especially the time my folks came here, like, my dad came in 63, my mom came in 70 or 69. They couldn't even call home. Like, there was no phones. Like, my dad's village didn't get a phone until 1993. A satellite phone was one for the whole village. And they didn't, and like, you couldn't write a letter home to his village. So he didn't talk to anybody he'd ever known in his entire life for the first couple of years he lived here. And I'm like, nah, if you went to the moon, you would have better connectivity. You'd be like, oh, let me FaceTime you. And it's like, so you can't,
that's true.
like, just even understanding that, you can't, I can't fathom it.
So if you're saying that in Masters of None, you saw the best representation of you in a series, what is like the next best representation that you've seen?
Oh my God, next best. I mean, there's like, Mindy Kaling's got her show and that's like, it's funny. Obviously it's exaggerated because it's comedy, but like, she's like our Jackie Robinson in some ways. Like she got a show and her name is on the title and she's a producer and like, that's big. Cause like coming up, there was a show Head of the Class back in the 80s. It had a guy, Jawar Halal. And it was like, Robin Givens was on. It was like, hey, Robin Givens. And then it's like, they got an Indian guy and you'd like look in the corner and be like, oh, 8 seconds, the Indian dude. And I'm like,
Right.
And he wasn't actively getting beaten up at the time. And I was like, yes, like that's our guy. And then for like 15 years, the only primetime Indian is Apu, which is like Hank Azaria.
Damn.
And I was like, if we can get enough representation to where I can complain about it, I would be so happy. Like, let me get a terrorist up in here. Let me get let me get a computer nerd, something. And, and because they would put on like ER, and I guess eventually they did get an Indian doctor, but it's like, you have a major city hospital with no Indian people in it. Like how? That's science fiction.
Right.
Like that's not even possible. That's never happened in the last 50 years.
Like Girls being set in Brooklyn and there's no black people.
Yeah, or Seinfeld or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like there's this like weird, like it's science fiction. Anyway, I just kind of gave up. That was the most depressing thing. I was just like, we're just not going to have it. And I didn't realize how thoroughly I had come to that conclusion. And I remember when the movie for The Namesake came out, Jim Lahiri's book, and Cal Penn was leading in it. And it got released, and I don't know, maybe it broke even or something. Like, it wasn't a hit, but it did okay. And I was just like, wow, because that book was like, and I think a lot of folks I know that are immigrants that read it were like, oh, I learned things about, like in my case, I learned things about my mother that I didn't know before I read that book by reading her novel.
Like what?
How they wait for us, how, and this is a mom thing in general, but I think particular to immigrant parents is like their expectation around who we are going to be and how we're sort of thoughtless in trampling their vision of what they thought their child was going to be because they didn't realize they're going to have an American kid.
Oh man, this just cut deep.
Sorry, I'm living it. I mean, and I have a son, right? And so I think about that all the time: is how do I not make my honest and good intentioned desires for him be a burden to him? Because whoever he is, I want to meet, and I'm excited about it. And in that context, is to be like, oh, here's this movie. It came out. We've arrived. This is all we're going to get. And that really was my conviction. And I didn't realize how thoroughly it was. I was like, at least it's good. At least it's good. And then they did Outsourced, which was this, I think it was NBC, but it was a comedy. And it was,
I remember this.
It was a call center comedy. And it was it was pure step and fetch it. I mean, it was bad.
I think I remember this show.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
was
it didn't
recent.
last long, but it was
Yeah.
it was only a couple years ago, and I was just like, oh man, like we finally like they did a show, they put some Indians in it, and this is what we get, and it was terrible, and then everything turned around. I mean, you had Mindy, and just lots of people. I mean, a friend of mine, Hari Kondabolu, was a writer on Kamau Bell's show, and it just felt
That's
like,
funny.
yeah, he's hysterical, and it was just like, and they're all so good. I mean, that's the other thing is that like you got to be twice as good, but like Mindy and Hari Kondabolu and like Aziz, like they're so good. And I was sort of like when Aziz first came out, his stand up, it just wasn't for me. Like Randy, I was like, nah, no.
You do a good Aziz.
Thank you. I've been practicing my Indian impressions for a long time, and I was just like, I get it. It's not my thing. And then to see with Master of None, it's like, oh, there was this much in there. And he's older and grew up, and his act evolves and whatever. But I think it's also like you just take this leap. You're like, I'm only getting this shot. Like there is not going to be like, oh, well, we'll give you 15 swings at the bat to do a bunch of failed sitcoms. Like I think of like Jerry Seinfeld making B movie.
Yo!
And he can like call
First
in
of
whatever.
all, we got to pause and talk about B movie.
What is B movie?
It was like an animated movie, right?
Yes.
I didn't even watch it.
So it's like, I didn't watch it. I don't know why I'm talking like an expert, but Tumblr is obsessed with this movie, so I see it all the time on my dashboard. And Jerry Seinfeld is a bee.
A B.
He's transformed into a bee.
Right.
And
it's
human...
a pun, though. I don't know if you got it.
Oh wait, so he's
It's a bee movie.
and it's a movie about a bee.
Hey.
So then it's.
And he just called in favors.
Of course, I got it. I was
very.
I was waiting on somebody to stop me. I was like, I'm committed now. I got to keep
we
going
didn't.
until somebody.
We
says
wanted to hear you
something.
explain it.
That's fine. Anyway, B movie is about Jerry Seinfeld as a
You
bee.
get somehow something happens,
But-
and then a human woman falls for him.
Right.
There'll be these
I have
great
so many
memes
questions.
on Tumblr. They're like that feeling when your wife leaves you for a bee. Honestly, but it is back to your point, like true testament to how much bad things,
It's like, but
how
it's-
much leeway people have to be bad.
Imagine the goddamn meeting. Imagine the meeting. Imagine me. You walk in and it's Jerry Seinfeld, and he's like, "Fellas, first of all, I'm the greatest star in the history of TV. Second of all, I'm making a movie, and I'm going to be a bee." Right? And everybody looks around. They're like, "Well, he's a funny guy. He's got to be kidding,
Yeah.
because that is a joke, and that's not even a funny joke. It's just a bad joke." And then millions of dollars pour in just from everybody's just like, "Let me write you a check out of my pocket to make your B movie because you're Jerry Seinfeld."
Yeah.
And nobody at any point is like, you know what? This might be bad. This might be the worst. My point is, all the B movie money should have gone to Indian people. 100%.
Reparations.
100%.
Hard agree.
Yes, immediate reparations
Yes.
for Desi people. That's it. 100%.
So we're kind of stuck, or like just put in a tough spot when you're like very happy, obviously, to see yourself represented on TV, and especially in a good way. But you also often feel like you can't really criticize, or like at least not in mixed company. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For example, the fact that in Master of None, Aziz Ansari's character Dev only dates this white woman. White women specifically have such a monopoly on the romantic comedy genre.
Yes. Yeah.
It gets so frustrating and honestly just like straight up boring
Yeah.
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 to see like that same dynamic again. They're not the only women
Yeah.
who date and
Oh.
have problems
Also,
dating.
they're not the only like fun, funny, quirky,
Yeah.
goofy, weird. You know what
I'm
I mean?
not
But they're
saying-
the only ones who get who are
No.
permitted.
right.
Well,
You
and
know?
it's
I'm not
it's-
saying Aziz has to cast it like an Indian girl,
Right.
but there's literally so many women who
There's anybody
struggle
else.
with dating.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
it's interesting because I think he was thoughtful enough to say there's a lead character that is a black woman that is a full person that's on
Word.
the show, but not a romantic lead.
Word.
And I think there's still a huge amount of stigma. I mean, because one of the big, and I think about this a lot, one of the big challenges for like the South Asian community in the U.S. in general is how we play with white privilege, right? Because we are like, as long as we keep our heads down, we don't talk about it, we get in to a certain degree, right? So we can get into tech. We're not going to get like promoted, but we can get in.
Yeah, that's actually something I want to ask you about because so you work a lot around like issues
Yeah.
of diversity in
Yeah.
tech, but you've talked about also how Indians are over-indexed in tech.
Yeah, totally. So, and just kind of closing the loop on the Master of None piece is like this. One of the things that like Indian dudes will signal is like, you know what, we can get white women. And like for the most part, now there have been exceptions, but
Tracy's sipping her drink.
yeah,
Y'all.
it's literally Kermit with the tea. But and for the most part, like their dads will not like bristle when the girl brings us home. For the most part, I've had some exceptions, but mostly not. And so like there's some part of that which is like you write this like aspirational, here's the Flossin version of me on TV, and I got a white girl. Like I think that's part of it. And then in tech. So I always look at like index who is in the tech companies, Google and Facebook and Yahoo versus like, let's say population in California, because they're all in California.
Word.
What's interesting is the proportion of employees that are white to proportion of Californians that are white is actually about even. But of course, like proportion of like tech employees at those major companies who are black is like 1%.
Right.
Latino is like less than 2%, like rounding error. And the entire gap in between is made up of mostly Asian men, right? So we over-index in a way that if hiring were equitable, pushes out really just Black and Latino and Native folks, right? Like that's sort of it. So we're complicit in this like anti-Black structure and don't ever talk about it. There's no talk because like the CEO of Google is Indian, the CEO of Microsoft is Indian, the CEO of Adobe is Indian. Like you go down the list. And it's like, and now we're not promoted into management in an equitable way, but like there is a possibility for advancement. I mean, outside of Xerox, like there's no Black women in these rooms, 0, right? Until like the 60s and 70s when like immigration changed and Indians could come here, there hasn't been any sense of like common cause between the issues that Indian and South Asian folks face in the U.S. and what Black folks face. And it's like, we're here because Black people got us the right to be here, period. I mean, that's who changed the civil rights movement so that like Indians could exist in society here. South Asian community doesn't talk about it. And there's like, it's just, they're terrified of it. And they're afraid of like, and I think part of it is they're like, our position is so precarious. We don't even have a TV show. So if we speak up, what happens to us? Because our history is so short. Like my dad is about as long as you can be in this country, and he's been here 50 years.
Damn.
And so people are like, they could just send us all back. That's happened before. Like in the 1900s when they were making these laws, like the Chinese exclusion, all this stuff. Like they just lynched entire towns of Indians. They're like, now there's no Indians here anymore, like in the Northwest. And so it was like, it was a different thing. And I mean, it obviously doesn't compare to the Black experience, but like in terms of like the ability to actually remove an entire community was a thing.
I kind of want to connect this to a different question we were thinking about in terms of, even though you are yourself not Muslim, that doesn't matter in America.
But I play one at the TSA.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you travel a lot, so I imagine you interact with TSA a lot.
Yeah. I got global entry, which is like pre-check. It's like this card where you're like, okay.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. It's whatever the opposite of a black card is. and they're like, and you go and you give them your fingerprints and their retina scan and whatever. And they're like, now we probably won't hassle you as much at the airport.
So did that work?
It has worked sometimes. And then like we were going to Canada because Canada is like hotbed of terrorism, and like my wife and I got split up and going through security, and I got detained because I always do, and she can like pass for white, and so like she just didn't see me because she was separated, and she's like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "I went to the room." Like that's like you know how I am. Like
what
The
happens
room
in the
where the
room?
racial profiling happens.
you don't. Oh,
You recently wrote something for Medium. I'm the most magnanimous motherfucker you know.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit about this.
Yeah.
About traveling while brown.
Yeah. And I mean, and I actually don't have it that bad because I know how to signal, right? Like, because I can be like, I'm going to put on a tie, or I'm going to be,
switch.
yeah, exactly. And I'm going to be looking at my iPhone and sighing heavily, and they're like, oh, this guy is a business
Got a
traveler.
meeting to get to. Oh my God.
They're like, oh yeah, he's
Johnson, give me the numbers.
but the times when I get pulled out, there is that hopelessness, and I think every kid in this town who's been stopped and frisked knows this. The hopelessness of there is nothing I can do. There is there is no form of respectability I can perform right now that is going to give me a pass, because I can literally be like, look at my iPhone. Here's a picture of me with the president.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, we still got to check you.
Word.
And I'd be like, do you think your like rent-a-cop ass at the TSA office knows better than they do down there? And they'll be like, no, but I got to do it. And And I don't blame. I'm like, it's a shitty job. Like I'm not.
yeah.
I can't even be mad at the person who's actually doing that job. But how do you get there to that position? It's like I don't even. That's the thing is I don't even know how to fix it. In the moment, I can't do anything because I'm like I'm not going to miss my flight.
I legitimately want to know what happens in the room. I've never.
Oh, so they take away your phone. It depends. So like a couple times it's just been asking questions where they're like they won't put hands on me or whatever, and they'll just be like, they do take away your phone sort of no matter what, but they'll just be like, where are you going? Who are you with? They're sort of like pretty deep questions, and then it's usually like 10, 15 minutes and you're free to go, and that's the like we don't want you to miss your flight version. I remember one time I was at LAX. I was at a conference, and there was a woman who I'd met at the conference I didn't really know, but like just not an acquaintance. And I had a bunch of like conference swag with me. It was metal, so it's off the detector. And she made a joke to TSA, and she was like, "Oh, he's not a terrorist. He's okay." Wow. And I was like, I had such side eye I could see out my ear, and I was just like, "Do you know what you just said?" Nothing happened to her. She's like, "Doo doo doo," like, "Let me go get a latte." And I was like, here it goes. Like, here we go. Dang. And it was, like they didn't make me strip. They were like, I had a sweater on. They're like, take off your shirt and whatever. And, this is before they did the waistband stuff. So they were just like,
what waistband
aggressively.
stuff?
They'll like, if you get a secondary screening now, they'll put like 2 fingers inside your waistband and feel around, whatever. This is before that. So like, they were just like kind of aggressively patting me down. And I was like, do I have to tip?
Oh my god!
And
Sir, get out!
and all that, and it was. I mean, it actually was. It's humiliating. It's just it's humiliating. It's like every time you've ever seen, a young black boy who gets stopped and frisked, and you see him walk away, and he's clean, and like you can go, and you see that look on his face, or he's just burning.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that because I don't like I'm a man and I have a certain amount of power and I have some redress and whatever, but like you feel that little bit of that little tickle, and I always think about like you see when kids are embarrassed they cry because they're so mad.
Yeah.
And I was right there, and I was in LA, and I was like, I'm not missing my flight. I was like, I'm not missing my flight because that was actually the only thing that kept it together because you can't do anything.
Right.
There's no argument you can make. There's no credential you can provide. There is nothing you can say that makes you a person.
A pivot a little bit, even though it's not really at
Yeah.
all. Are you surprised that Donald Trump has made it this far?
No. Uh-uh.
To
I've been to
me-
America.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the wave of anti-Muslim sentiment didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
It was carefully
You didn't bring
groomed.
that
Where
It's
were y'all at post 9/11?
Every time I go to a train station or an airport, right, they're like, keep an eye out for suspicious packages.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I see one with a Confederate flag on it.
Suspicious to me.
and I
How we
can't
define
be like, dear
suspicious, though.
airline, let's get this guy off the plane.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. And I mean, I grew up in sort of rural suburban Pennsylvania, and it was very red county. I have an older sister, and she was, I think, the first person of color in our school district ever.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It was like
School district?
Yes, yeah.
That
No.
means like all the schools. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All
Just
the
making
schools.
sure.
That doesn't mean something different
Yeah.
to you.
I mean, here's the thing. There may have been other kids before, but I think they probably moved out. And we were in junior high when the first black family moved in, and they got a cross burned on their yard. And this was in the 80s. Like this is
about to ask what year that was.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So this is like I'm who I am, so I'm always like, okay, this was like after Michael Jackson Bad came out, so it must have been 87. So like that's my index.
I love that your time frames are in terms of Michael Jackson albums.
Well, usually they're by Prince albums, but that just so you can call it Sign of the Times and Love Sexy, or you can call it Bad, but it's 87, 88. It's around that time. And of course, like, we're terrified too. It's like, look, I'm on that. I know what side of the paper bag I'm on, and I know whose daughters I'm going home with. But the
bloop, bloop,
sorry.
oh my
Hold
god.
on, we need to take a break for
Yeah. Well, because you had to know. You had to know, right? You had to know how their parents are going to react. And that just stayed with me, was like this sense of like, I don't belong here. And I remember coming to New York City as a teenager, and then eventually when I moved here when I was like 21, and I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Aw,
These
baby
are all my
Anil,
people. Yeah, I was like,
cute.
this is all my people. Oh my God.
So I would describe you as you're pretty woke. You're pretty woke.
I
guy.
hope I'm trying.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got a child.
Speaking of this child of yours, what are you going to teach him about race and women and feminism?
Oh,
Because I
that's a
feel
good
like
question.
every man who is not horrible has a duty once he has a child,
Absolutely.
especially a son, to make sure that he grows up to also be
To
not
not
horrible.
be trash.
Yeah.
I feel like he's in good hands.
a
But
low
like, yeah,
bar.
but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what's your blueprint for
I don't know.
for
I
this?
mean, I was born to be trash, right? Like Indian men. Indian men are not raised to like love and respect women. Like I was the first person in the history of my family to go on a date.
wow.
Like my parents had an arranged marriage, and everybody back for 20 generations did. So like there wasn't some template. And my sister, I mean, she's the reason that I'm even moderately redeemed as a human, because she was like, you know, an anthropologist and a feminist, and like just taught me about the world.
Good.
But you know, I also in my 20s thought I was the good guy, and was probably reprehensible. You know,
Is there anything in particular you look back on where you're like, what was that? What?
just that I was so full of myself, like that, like maximum mansplainer guy. I mean, I'm still that.
Are you a
know what I mean?
recovering
Ew.
mansplainer?
I haven't
I
recovered
think
very
all
well.
men are.
Oh my god.
It's a
If
matter
they're
of
in
channeling
recovery
it.
is a matter of.
I just directed at men now. That's like kind of the only difference.
Good.
Yeah.
but I mean, you clearly think a lot about race,
yeah.
and you're very smart about it. Like, how do you teach your son about that?
Well, I think actually to the feminism point with my son, what I realized was what I was screwing up is I could tell him everything, and I know what to say because I worked in media and I'm like literate and whatever, but I didn't do the dishes half the time. You know, my wife pointed it out, and I was like, "This is true. I'm not doing the dishes half the time, and I'm not doing half the cooking." You know, she's a startup founder. She's an entrepreneur. She's an ass kicker. Like, she's got a life. Like, that's all the education he needs about this is what a woman can be. Like, I don't ever worry about that part. I think not as like excuse, but as explanation. I was like, oh, but like being raised as an Indian man, they're not like, you're going to wash dishes. Like, that does not come up. I'm still working on it. Like, it's still a lot of introspection, but I talked to my son about it. I'm like, what do we do after we, you know, make dinner? We clean up. I think that's actually it. And I mean, it sounds so like low bar, but like, he already sees from, you know, my wife, like his mom is like an entrepreneur and an ass kicker and, you know, a creative force. And like that part is actually the thing that I think about is like, how can I be 2% less reprehensible every day? You know, and
That's a beautiful goal.
Thank you.
For men.
Yeah.
We could do this forever.
Pew,
But
Okay.
I think it is time to move on to pew pew pew.
pew, 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 pew. Don't know if you've heard the show before, but this is our rapid fire question segment.
I'm the biggest fan, so yes, I have.
Oh my gosh. Really? I was just trying to get you to say that you were a big fan.
Oh my god.
That's
Tracy.
true.
Go me. Okay, question number A. How do you feel about squirrels?
Oh God, I've thought about this so much. So on principle, I object to rodents across the board.
On
Okay.
principle.
On principle. And squirrels are rats with fuzzy tails. That's just fact. That being said, they behave in ways that are not as horrible as most other rodents. So they're sort of the most acceptable of the vermin that you would have live around your home.
You know what? That's a fair answer, I will say.
But why do you have to accept any vermin that lives around your home? You don't have to do that.
I'm
You
trying
sound like
to-
an apologist to me.
I'm trying to detach myself from worldly concerns. So that's
You know, I don't have a comeback for that. What is your favorite type of mango?
oh my God.
You know we're a mango enthusiast.
Yeah. So I proposed to my wife by giving her a mango because
Excuse me, what?
yeah, because mangoes are serious business. This is true. The U.S. didn't allow importing Indian mangoes for like 50 years. And then there was a trade of like nuclear secrets.
Oh my god! And then we can get the
Mangoes?
mangoes.
And I was like,
That sounds like a fair
this
trade to
is
me."
worth it. This is 100%
That is
worth it.
incredible.
My mom's favorite mango is Alfonso, so that's definitely up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Quesar mangoes are great, especially for the pulp. So the thing that matters is to get the variety of them, because like what we have as mangoes are basically all like the red, delicious, mushy apple of mangoes, and so to have like
Gotta up
real
my mango
mangoes,
game, man.
yeah. So like go
How
out
does
to-
one up one's mango?
Go to
game?
Queens, go to like Patel
so
Brothers,
Mm.
get a case of mangoes, like save up because it's going to be like $30 for a case of mangoes. And they come into season like March or so. And I literally, like the year that they came out, I was like, I don't like. I would spend my last penny on this. Like they're so good. So it matters of like where they're from and how fresh they are, and that you're not getting that same red yellow mango you see at like the giant supermarket.
I have not been living.
Yo,
So
Queens is lit, yo.
Yeah,
I need to
the
spend
mango
more time in
scene.
Queens.
Yeah.
I really do.
mango party.
I do not believe in love. I think it's a lie.
Oh,
However,
oh my.
no, it's a farce. Just settle, marry for money. But tell us, like, I want to hear like the story of how you proposed with a mango.
Oh, we were walking up 2nd Avenue. It was the 4th of July in 2004. We had like snuck up on a rooftop to see the fireworks. And it was like half obstructed view. That's
how it always happens on the 4th of July.
Because I don't plan ahead and I'm incompetent. And we went to Veselka and we had some dinner. And I was like, I think I have to marry this girl.
So did you have the mango in your pocket?
No,
like
and
the whole
we walked into a bodega, and I just walked in and I was like, I'm gonna buy this mango, and that was literally it was just like this is and what had happened was I used to live real close to by there, and the first night I lived in New York City, I was like terrified and scared, and I didn't know anybody, and I was broke and I didn't have a job, couldn't sleep, and I got up at 3 a.m, and I had been to that same bodega. At 3 a.m, they were unloading mangoes, and they weren't good ones, but they were okay. And in my hometown, we hadn't had mangoes. My mom was so excited when I was in junior high, and they started importing mangoes.
Oh my God!
Because it was so foreign, and I just thought, I can get up any time in this place and have a mango, like fresh off the truck. I am where I belong. Like I'm gonna be okay. And that thought of like, this is where I belong and I'm gonna be okay, and like a mango from that bodega, that was it. And I was like, this is what I want to give to you.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. That was beautiful.
This is disgusting. You are so gross.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Ugh.
I don't know how to transition from that. Jesus.
I never said that out loud before. That's kind of embarrassing, but that's the
Oh
truth.
my God.
That's
true.
very beautiful.
Let's transition very crudely. What is the douchiest thing you've ever heard a venture capitalist say?
Oh my God.
There's so many options.
The depth. Oh God. There's just so much. Where do you even start?
Or maybe like categories of comments.
Yeah. There's actually a thing where you go into a meeting, and this is like whether it's VCs or just like the sort of tech leaders in general, like these important dudes, where they seem okay and they're like thoughtful and they're like, we care about these markets and we want to do this stuff and we have to be, user centric. And then the only woman in the office is the admin, and she'll come in and you'll see the guy maybe grunt, but maybe not even use a word to indicate that he wants like coffee or a snack or whatever.
Oh,
Literal snapping of fingers.
No.
Literal snapping of fingers. And you're just like, oh shit, you had me. Because the thing for me is like, I can be the only, like I can be in a room full of all guys. And they don't know that I'm like the betrayer of the patriarchy. and you sneak in and you feel like, oh man, like, they're going to catch me. And so they don't know. And so like they're mostly being decent because people are decent most of the time. And then it slips for a second and you're like, you see behind the mask, you're like, oh my God, like this guy doesn't even see this woman as human. So that's the thing. It's not even a word. It's just that look. And you're just like, oh, you just showed me the whole game.
God damn.
I know. Let's pep this up.
Yeah. A little happy note for you.
I have a would you rather for you.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
No, this is a good one. Possibly the best one yet. Okay.
Wow.
Would you rather have glow in the dark body hair or only be permitted to use sour cream and onion scented deodorant?
What? I haven't heard this question
to read this
clearly.
Glow in the dark body hair. Sour cream and onion scented deodorant. So this is actually like more a question of how I feel about my wife than it is actually for me. Because like me, I'm just like, I just got to face it. Like I don't have to deal with it.
But what does my wife have to put up with?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like I still, yeah.
Love it.
South Asian people in general are not lacking in body hair. So I think I probably would choose the sour cream and onion because like I actually think people would just get used to it after a while. Like there's that thing where you're like you're with somebody or whatever and you're just like yeah, well, like, he smells. Like you're just like, what are you gonna do? Like that's my man. He stinks.
Oh no, I would definitely go for glow in the dark body hair.
All right,
I think it would be fun.
it's good to know.
But no, I think
That's
I'd
a
go
grim
sour cream.
choice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But you know how you go to like skating rinks, like when you was little, and they had the black light, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, my shirt's glowing! It's so cool."
at my teeth.
Same thing, only all the time. Because your hair glows in the dark.
That's too
not-
much. No, no
Nope.
one needs
Party
that.
poopers.
Unsubscribe.
All right, so we're gonna take a little pause to hear a little bit from our sponsor, and when we come back, we're gonna have a fun game for y'all. Hey,
Game time.
Anil, you ready?
Yikes.
No, it's great. It's fun.
Oh, okay.
Game time. Hanging out in the studio.
Let's pay some bills. Before you leave us, Anil, we have crafted a little game for you
Yikes.
that we honestly need your help on.
Okay.
Think of this like Shark Tank.
Oh shit.
It's more like Guppy Tank. You know? There aren't
Precisely.
aren't quite any
Maybe
sharks.
that's the name of the segment.
Guppy Tank.
Guppy tank.
Okay. We know you know a lot about the tech world, about just product world,
no.
etc. So we're going to pitch you a few things.
Yes.
We're going to ask you to step to the other side of the pitch meeting and guess whether the product or app or whatever is real or came from our minds.
All right. The product is called UCA, which stands for United Condiments of America.
UCA, United Condiments of America.
Yes. It's essentially one big condiment bottle that stores several different condiments.
Wait now. All right, so I got a bottle. It's got mayo, ketchup,
Yes.
mustard, all that
Sriracha,
in it.
honey mustard. Got
You know
your
those
ranch
pens that
dressing.
had like 4 different colors?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that with
This,
condiments.
but with condiments.
Is that real?
Is that real or did one of us make that?
Yeah,
up?
I don't think it is real, but I wish it was.
Right?
Yeah, like I would definitely.
So Tracy
like,
definitely made that up.
Yeah,
It's such a good
yeah,
idea. I
Yeah,
would love
like
it.
I would definitely have QVC regret ordering that. I would definitely, for sure.
But everything's in one place.
Yeah,
It's a great idea.
it's a good idea. I would, yes. If I
You
had
know, we
money, I
can-
would write you a check for that.
We can end this segment right now. Really, that's all I needed to hear.
So this next idea is a combination fan and Roomba. So peep this. Peep this. So the number one thing that's annoying about fans is like, you know, they can move from side to side, or maybe if you get a lot of motion, they're doing up and downs. But in general, it's stationary. And the situation, you can circulate some air, but it's not enough.
No.
So a Roomba will be going around
That's
in addition to the fan. It is
That's-
called the Froomba.
it's not real because it's not a good idea. It's a bad idea.
No, it's a great idea. You guys aren't down with Froomba?
Guess whose idea that was?
Oh my God, it's such a good idea, guys.
No, it's really no. I would rather have a Roomba with a bottle of condiments, of all condiments on top of it that just brought
Yo,
me.
so when you at the barbecue,
Exactly.
and you can't,
The condiments
you gotta
come
be like,
to you.
I need 3 kinds of hot sauce right now.
and you don't want to ask Leroy to pass it down
Nope.
because you know he's gonna use it first, and you're like, yo, my chicken's getting like,
My chickens are what?
my chicken's getting cold. I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Dash,
Yes.
is this an actual idea that someone had and expected to get money for,
Ooh,
or
ooh.
is this just an idea that we think is cool that we made up?
Little Eats. Eats with a Z.
This sounds like a terrible rapper.
Yeah.
It is.
Lil Eats,
Yeah. That's like Louisiana rapper.
It's no Young Hieronymus, I'll tell you that.
So the basic idea is you have little treats for you and your pet.
So
matching snacks.
Yes.
So the same treat that your dog eats, you can also eat it.
So the idea is if your dog is eating off your plate,
It won't die because it's not chocolate.
it won't die.
Can I tell y'all a secret? Like, okay, so once, this is about the time that I tasted one of those begging strips for dogs.
Why did you? Why? I don't
Great
even
question.
have a sentence.
Great
Why
question.
and how?
I don't know. I had one in my hand. I was like, you know what? It smells like bacon.
That's not
Does it really taste like bacon?
your decision making process. There was wrong.
Yeah.
Flawed.
Yeah,
Flawed.
that's- on that basis,
Anyway.
I think. On that basis, I think Lil eats. I mean, I don't know. I think white folks do let their dogs eat off their plates, right? Like that's a thing.
Yeah, but you can't always like eat the same food, or like the dog is not supposed to eat what you eat.
Well, yeah,
What is your
that's-
verdict, Anil?
I'm certain that product exists because people will buy any damn thing for their pets.
You are
Ding, ding,
correct.
Yes.
ding, 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 ding.
It exists in several locations.
Yeah, that's not. Oof.
The next thing is a social media network where people
Finally,
can subtly let you know that you're ashy.
oh, that's necessary.
Wouldn't that be so great?
Oh, that's good. It's like a poke on Facebook.
Yeah, it's just like
poke you in the knee.
You don't want to put them on blast.
Right.
No,
You just want to
that's-
be like, yo, bro,
That's love.
You want
Yeah.
some cocoa
That's not-
butter?
yeah.
it's-
Right.
I want more social media that
Right.
comes from this good
That's
place.
Right. 'Cause
That
if
should
you
be the
wanna-
name of the app. That's
Yeah,
love.
That's love. Because if you publicly say they're ashy, that's a whole different. We already got Twitter for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, That's not. Like that's fine.
The ashy police.
Yeah. That's necessary. You need to be able to. I don't think that exists, but I think it should.
Call me Silicon Valley because
Whoa.
that was a great idea I had.
Yes.
That's a fantastic
Today.
idea.
That is a $0 billion idea.
You know, if there were more black people in Silicon Valley,
Right.
they'd be concerned.
Hey! Indians get ashy too.
This is true. This is true. You're right. You're right. Thank you for entertaining this.
Yes. I feel
Yes.
closer to you both.
You as well. This is,
I'm excited to pitch even more ideas to you. It's a long list. An
you wanna-
away message, but for life.
Windshield wipers for your glasses.
that's not your best work.
Are you kidding me? That
Yeah,
is a
not
great
Also, if
idea.
they have like a fog,
It's a compliment to the rest of your work.
defogger.
That's
Also,
what?
It's
Uber for babies.
Uber for babies.
You're just on your phone and you're like, I want a baby,
Oobies.
but only for a little bit.
It's a
Boober.
branding challenge.
It's Boober.
Boober.
I already thought of the name, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Last
TM.
one. An app that lets you find the nearest person to you with a dashiki on. You know, you're black in middle America.
You just need to get safe.
You just want to meet
like-
your folks.
Yes.
It'll be called Dashiki Me.
That's me. We need the Indian version, like the Sari Finder.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is a
Yes.
great app. Wow. Thanks.
We'll talk. We'll talk
All right.
about
Thanks for the support.
Thank you. This is very, very inspiring.
Thank you so much for chopping it up with us, Anil. Where can the people find your work?
AnilDash.com is where most of my stuff online lives. And if you make apps and stuff, check out MakerBase. That would be cool.
And you also do the Twitters. Yes.
I am on Twitter as Anil Dash.
I'm always surprised when people can do like meaningful conversations on Twitter. I feel like you do that well.
You have a lot of them.
I'm trying.
Good job.
We
Keep it
appreciate
up.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Tracy,
Wit.
it's time for a round.
Oh my gosh, I'm
It's time for
really
rounds.
excited about my round today.
Ooh, who are you banging around for?
I am buying around for each and every person who takes a medicine for some sort of
Oh my
mood
God. God bless
thing.
Tracy.
So today is my very, very first day on a new medicine for my ADD. It finally got bad enough that I finally went to the doctor for it. I'm very proud of myself. But you know what I discovered is that I still like, even as comfortable as I am with like being open and talking about like taking a pill for my anxiety, there's still some of like the shameful stigma
Yeah,
that
that's
like
real.
has around, you know? This is not a medicine that you just take when you have like a big paper to write or something so that you can focus in the moment. I have to take it like every day.
Yeah.
And so like I sat down and I was like, man, I'm taking 2 different like medicines to get my brain together. And I felt like bad for a second. I was like, I don't want this to be like, I just got settled with like taking 1 pill every day
Yeah.
in my life. Now I got to do it all over again with 2.
Listen, I joined the club a few weeks ago.
Yay!
It's working out.
Good. Well, at least I'm in good company. The first visit that you take to your doctor to get a new medicine is going to be followed up with several more because
Yeah.
like the medicine management thing, like getting the dosage right and you have to pay attention to your side effects
know.
and what's going on. It's a lot. And we
It's
jumped
stressful.
through. Yeah. We jumped through so many hoops just to like get that together and feel better.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to buy around for us because I mean
Oh
it's
my God, yes.
it's a lot. It's so much. And the best part though is like once you finally do find like the right combination or whatever, the right dosage, your life becomes so much easier because there are fewer hurdles you have to jump. Then the line of thinking becomes, how did I do this by
God.
myself for
Yo!
so long? And actually, you know what? Shout out to people who may be dealing with or suffering from anxiety, depression, whatever, who could probably benefit from medicines, but who aren't on them right now. Like, this shit is hard with medicine.
I know.
So without it, man, listen. And this isn't me like telling anybody to run out and get medicine. All I'm saying is, I appreciate y'all. I get it. I understand the struggle. Hang in there. Have a round on me.
I never feel more like just a dumb mammal than when I'm trying out new meds. Like if you just put different chemicals in me, I'll be like an entirely different personality.
Yeah. It's kind of scary when you think about it, you know? We are putting everything on the line to be happy.
Oh.
That was sad and depressing. Hope your round is funner.
It is.
Yay! Who are you buying around for? Or what are you buying around for?
I would like to buy around 4 fake eyelashes.
Yes!
They're so fun.
They are so fun.
So I always just never thought about them because that seemed like so much work. I can't even paint my nails. I don't have the dexterity for freaking eyelashes.
Right. You have to have like glue near the little holes in your eye that make you see.
Yeah, exactly. I always assumed it was not for me. And then one day, humble brag a little bit, the little fashion shoe.
Go ahead and flex. Go ahead and flex.
And she put fake eyelashes on me and I felt like a different person. I felt like my Sasha Fierce came out.
Aw, does she have a name? Your Sasha Fierce?
Oh, what is my inner Sasha Fierce sound like? Probably like Patty Chayefsky. Nothing crazy.
Oh my God.
Like a more fabulous version.
Right.
Anyways, real talk. I think I understand smizing now.
Because of the lashes?
Okay, there's something so much, like, I love makeup so much. I was never at this point, like, even a few years ago. I never thought I would be the kind of person who loves makeup. It's just so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I think a lot about what Audie Cornish said in our interview with her about, like, the armor you wear.
Yeah.
When you're facing the world.
Yeah.
That is what my bright red lipstick is. That is what my fake eyelashes are.
Aww.
There's something about being like super, super femme.
Yeah.
Where you're like actually batting your eyelashes.
And it's always so dramatic.
It's so dramatic.
But
you know I love me some drama.
I know, girl. I know. But here's my thing. They're hard to put on.
Okay. So, I am with you. I am with you 1,000%. This is why I don't even do my own nail polish. While the makeup artist was doing it, I was like, this is incredible, but this is obviously not a look I can recreate in my casual life. I tried it again. I had a pair of fake eyelashes. I had a pair in the back. I had fake eyelashes that I just kept saving for a special occasion. One of my New Year's resolutions is to stop saving things for special occasions.
Yes, that is a beautiful resolution.
I don't know, like being alive is a special occasion.
Hell yeah.
I was like, fuck it. I'm going to put them on just to go out one weekend. And it was a dexterity struggle. But if you're patient, and honestly, I really like how patient makeup makes me. Like how much time and preparation and like just, you can honestly like meditate while you're putting on your makeup.
That's true.
So I carefully, not well, but carefully put on these lashes and I look great.
What?
The glue is a serious situation, so don't get crazy with the glue.
Listen, I could tell you how many times I have super glued my own fingers together.
Listen, that's what I'm saying.
I keep
I'm not trying to super glue my eyes shut.
in my apartment because I know it's going to happen again. I know it is.
Round 4, super femme, super luxurious, like for no reason things.
Aww. Do you remember... You remember when we did the photo shoot and we had our lashes and the next day we were like, let's just leave them on.
Yo,
and we got to work and we would just dress normally with these big ass eyelashes. We're like, yo, I didn't think this through.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, okay, I don't have to save things for special occasions, but you know, it can't be that casual. We were like, these lashes look so great. We'll save them for one more day. It's like, yo, why are you in the office looking like
Jordans with these big ass lashes?
But they're so much fun. Highly recommend it, guys. Have fun with makeup.
Aw.
Shout out to the armor we all wear. Yo, Tracy, we did it.
Oh my God.
I know.
That was so fun. Anil is so smart and fun to talk to. I cannot wait to meet his Stevie Wonder singing child.
Okay. Shout out to Anil Dash. Shout out to Anil Dash's child, who will soon be our podcast baby.
Podcast baby.
As always, we got to give a big shout out to the Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Yes. This podcast is produced by Eleanor Kagan,
Yay.
editorial oversight from Jenna Weiss-Berman,
Woo.
and production help from Julia Furlan and Meg Kramer. Hey.
Thank you to Power West at Argo Studios. We've missed you so much. Thank you to our in-house musicians, Miss Jean Gray. You can follow her on Twitter at Jean Greasy. And to Don Will of the Almighty Tanya Morgan, you can follow him on Twitter at DONWILL. The streets are saying that Don Will is starting to get noticed at local Brooklyn functions because of our show, so you're welcome.
The streets are saying
The
this.
streets have said this. That's how me and the streets had some tea yesterday.
Oh my God, Tracy.
Thank you to Optimus Prime.
Shout out to the Tracy.
Yay, Vibe Vixen of the Week.
Always. The vibe vixen of my heart.
Aw. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, don't forget, gift contests. Send us all.
Yes, send us your GIFs.
You can enter the contest at studio360.org, and they have all the information there. We are the judges, so come correct.
Bring your A game and get laughed at on Twitter.
No, that
joking.
won't happen.
We won't laugh at you on Twitter.
But we'll appreciate the effort. Please hit us on the buzz. On Twitter and Facebook at Another Round. You can email us at anotherround@buzzfeed.com. And if you like the show, rate us on iTunes, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell the ghost of Patty Chayefsky. If only he could see me now.
If only. Call your mom.
I really don't know why his name was stuck in my head. I don't
even know who that is. Why do you even know who that is?
I like TV a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I just know stuff sometimes. But this one specific thing. He is the man that gave us the phrase, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore."
I know that dude. Yeah.
From the Movie Network. Don't forget to take your meds, y'all.
Drink some water.
Call your moms.
Floss.
Yes, floss.
Y'all get some good floss yet? It's very important.
Indulge your candle game.
Ooh, candle.
Yes, I just bought some more yesterday.
Ooh, you know what else you should do? Go take you like $30.
Mm-hmm.
Go to like a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's in the home goods section and get one of those like abnormally soft blankets. But listen, this is important. Get the king size one. It is
Oh my God.
so big and it's so soft.
Tracy,
and
you have
can
never
wrap
lied.
yourself up so tightly that you can really feel just cut off from the rest of the world. It is
Oh
the
my God.
best thing in the world.
This is the best advice I've ever heard.
Yes.
Treat yourself, y'all. Don't let winter get you down.
Fight the good fight. I don't know. I'm leaving.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Another thing my sister trolled me into doing, we had to share a room. We had bunk beds. Somehow she trolled me into owning the territory that included the door when we split our room. So I had to jump from my section to leave the room. And for some reason, I just went along with it.
Your sister sounds diabolical. I'm into it.
You know, in retrospect, I'm honestly pretty impressed. Getting your sister to convince herself that she has to jump a certain height to exit her bedroom that you share with her, just because you want a monopoly on the door.
Yeah, I'm voting for her. I'm writing her in.
Shout out to sisters.
Yay, sisters.